everyone. Welcome to Real Estate with Ryan on a Saturday. Glad to be with you in the studios talking a little real estate. It is March Madness. It is that week, and the Vols are playing. Not sure how this weekend's going to turn out, but we're rooting for the Vols. Excited for men and the women are playing coming up, so excited for those guys and an exciting, busy week as we're approaching spring. You guys are going to love today's show. If you're tuning in for the first time, my name's Ryan Coleman, owner, founder of Hometown Realty, and we always like to talk a little real estate. We know the spring market's picking up, but I got a special guest today, and we've got DIA Architects in the house, Tyler Goza from the firm representing, and they did the Regas project. They designed Regas Square down there and some of the buildings. So we're going to talk about that on the radio. We're going to talk about their design work, their theme, what was the inspiration in the design, kind of talk about kind of how is the process going. And then towards the end of the show, you guys are struggling with inventory. You know, selling the home's not the problem. Where are we going? What are we going to build? How are we going to do it? Well, land sales are skyrocketing. New construction is at an all-time high, and we're looking for that forever home or that dream home. Well, if you can't find it in the market, maybe we've got to build it. And Tyler's going to talk to us about designing that. What's the process? Where do you start? And if you're going to design, we've got some guys that can help you on that whole process. So thank you for tuning in to Real Estate with Ryan. We'll jump right into this show. A little bit of congratulations or some news updates before we start. Got a brand new listing out of Maryville on South Long Hollow, excuse me. Brand new listing there with some acreage, 10 acres plus. Want to check that out, a couple home sites. Don't forget our brand new cabin in Sevierville. Is that Sevierville, Gatlinburg area? 1706 Springer, brand new, beautiful cabin. Speaking of Regas, congrats, new contract on Unit 209. Just went under contract. Congratulations. 406 over at Regas just went under contract. I think it's one of our last one bedrooms that we sold there. We may have maybe one more left. White School Road, congrats on the closing on that. Collier Drive, beautiful condos out there, resorts at Governor's Crossings. So very, very hot property. Seems like we're selling all the condos out there in Governor's Crossings. Record prices for the owners, and these buyers are loving these units. And one of my sellers I was chatting with just a few moments ago, he said, hey, this is a cash cow. You can't go wrong. You just get a check every month. So he was super excited about it, but he was too far to maintain it. Congrats to Hill Road, sweet, sweet sellers. So glad to be a part of that process. And 609 over at Regas is closing, and we'll save the rest of the congrats till next show. We want to get in the show and talk to Tyler a little bit about the inspiration and company background. So, you know, if you guys know Regas Restaurant was there forever. Bill Regas was the founder, and they eventually closed down. I was telling Tyler before we started, I actually waited tables at Regas in college to kind of get started and not know where I was going, but it was a good experience, you know, working over there with the group over at Regas, and it taught me people skills. It taught me patience. It taught me, believe it or not, you had to look sharp. I mean, when you went into the restaurant, you have your crease. They had to make sure your shirts were starched, and it was professional. And, you know, those are things that as a young guy picked up very early and carried on. So a lot of props to the Regas family on what they taught me early on. So tell me a little bit about you, Tyler. Appreciate you coming in. And tell us about yourself and how you got started in the business.
Yeah, so appreciate you having me. I'm from just north of Chattanooga. I'm from Cleveland, Tennessee. I moved to Knoxville in 2010. So I've been here a little over 10 years. Moved in 2010 to go to UT. Was interested in architecture out of high school. So it was kind of a natural jump. I was always a UT fan, so I wanted to go to UT.
Good, bad, and different. You always evolve for life. Right. We love it. That's
right. Yeah, you can't call me fair weather because. So I moved up here to go to school at UT. And UT was the only architecture program in the state at the time that was accredited. So that was kind of a natural fit for me. Obviously loved UT at the time, loved my time here. And that I graduated in 2015, and that just kind of naturally I started looking for jobs around here. I don't know if I necessarily had a plan to stay in Knoxville, but the opportunity just kind of presented itself. Met somebody my last semester in school, so that impacted that decision as well.
There's a lot of great ladies in East Tennessee. That's what brought me here. I mean, a lot of great ladies, great environment. You're seeing why a lot of people are relocating to East Tennessee. It's a hidden secret, but we're seeing just an overflow of buyers coming to the area. And for the real estate, the market, the business growth, pretty exciting.
Yeah, steady job growth. So I guess that's how you end up with not enough homes for everybody.
Yeah. And you were telling me you guys are super busy, right? Even through
yeah,
COVID.
Yeah, exactly. So when all this started, I guess we're about at the 1 year anniversary of sending folks home and really starting to take everything seriously around here. So I guess we at DIA we left. And sent everybody home to work from home starting around March, around this time last year. And for a good, I would say maybe 5 or 6 months, we were totally working from home. But, the good thing about our job, of course, is that you can hop on Zoom, which we all know now well, but we can hop on a call and really keep on chugging in terms of doing our work, having meetings between ourselves, our clients, our consultants, our engineers, and all that kind of thing. So we've been fortunate in that aspect, and really we've stayed super busy.
I think the COVID world definitely has taught businesses to be battle tested. You had to think outside the box. You got to do things differently. It took the limitations that you had to be in the office. And I see some businesses now, they're just not even going back to that. I mean, they're looking for working from home, and so it's adapting. I mean, great business owners, you got to adapt, and I think that's what battle tested. A lot of businesses have changed, and I think they made stronger through this process.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's not like we didn't have the technology before, but when you've done whatever it is you've done for this number of years, it takes something like this to really convince business owners to say, okay, we got to look at a different way to approach some of these things, and we kept right on going, and we had some obstacles at different times, but really, we've been just as busy as ever at DIA, and I think overall in architecture and construction in general. So we've been really fortunate.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. So tell us a little about Regas and kind of some of his involvement and what you guys have had to start that process. It's a huge building, 101 units. If you've ever been down there, Marble City Market is opening here this summer. Pretty excited about that. That's over 15,000 square feet. It's set up for a 40-seat bar, indoor and outdoor. It's got 500 guests. It's got 2 top golf suites. I was just telling Nick about that. I said, hey, we're going to have to sell more condos and go down there and practice and working on our game just a little bit. But that's super cool. And I think one of the biggest things that, with this COVID environment, post-COVID environment, it's one of the first establishments that's set up downtown that's featured enhanced ventilation. I mean, really COVID-friendly environment, integrated online ordering, contactless pay system. So they've really went above and beyond on that design for that. I know they've taken some time for the commercial space, but I know they were looking for the right vendor there. And what's your involvement in that process, how that started and all the design and time it takes to just put a building like that? It's so beautiful.
Sure. Well, so one of the advantages about this project is it's, most of a city block. So there's a lot of opportunities for us to be thoughtful and creative, between us and the clients, especially when the project first started. This is a lot. It's a lot of space to do a lot of different things that's possible here. So one of the things that was really important, and I'm really excited to see this particular development go in, because really this type of space is really what we had envisioned for that retail level of Regas, I guess. So the whole building, the way it's set up is that you've got basically call it a podium on the bottom. So there's a parking garage in the back, which is really well concealed.
All deeded parking. I don't know if you knew that the unit's all deeded parking, very safe environment over there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So part of what we were able to do is kind of tuck that parking away and use the entire Depot Avenue as basically pedestrian space. And just to hear the type of businesses that are coming in and filling those retail spots, and that's exactly what it's for. We were hoping and looking to to really engage pedestrians who live here, give them an opportunity for spaces that they can use day to day, but also bring in other folks who don't live there but want to come here and shop and spend time and that kind of thing. So I'm excited to see this new development.
There's a lot of buzz on the street. We're selling them like records here, and a lot of energies to get in here before everything goes up. We've actually raised the prices of some of the units and selling them in spite of that. Hey, we're coming on a break. Be more with Tyler here. Stay with us. You don't want to miss the second half of the show.
Knoxville and East Tennessee. The region is known for its rolling hills, rivers, and lakes. There's no better place to work, live, or raise a family. Home is where your story begins. Buying or selling your home is a big decision, and you need a real estate team you can trust.
I'm Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty, your hometown experts. Whether you're buying or selling a home, let us develop a winning game plan for you.
Hometown Realty is East Tennessee's #1 real estate group and a proud sponsor of the Vols.
Your friend promised we wouldn't be homeless.
He promised. He's doing everything to fix it.
You need to call and have him fix it now.
Hey, man.
Found us a house.
No, not yet. Let me call you back. We're working on it.
Ryan Coleman with Hometown
He says he's doing the best he can do, honey.
Well, he's taking too long. I knew we should have gone with Ryan Coleman.
Choosing the right agent is never easy.
Call your hometown experts. We'll take care of all the details and make sure you don't get stuck in a motel. All right. Thank you for coming back after the break. If you're tuning in the first time or caught us briefly on the other side of the break, we're talking a little real estate. We got DIA Architects in the building, Tyler Goza representing the firm. And we're talking about Regas, kind of what's the design there. They designed the whole building, and I wanted to get their inspiration on it. And then we'll also talk about the real estate market, how there's limited inventory out there, and how we're seeing a surge in land, and we're seeing custom builds more than ever. And we've got the guys in the studio that can help you with any kind of designs. You're doing that forever home. You're selling your home now for a record price. Maybe you got to rent. Building is a process. Contractors are there, but you're going to sell at top dollar and build your forever home. And we've got some ideas that will help you along that process throughout the show. So we were talking about Regas a little bit. We're talking about the square and how that design theme with the commercial space on the front. I was telling Tyler before the break, the interest that we had pre-COVID, we took this over right when COVID came in, and it was almost like everything shut down on the condo space and everything across the country. But we've seen a lot of things change over the last 4 or 5 months recently as things start swinging in. What would you say the design time on a project like that, does that take a couple months or a longer time to design that Regas building?
So I started at DIA in 2015-ish,
Okay.
and I think it's safe to say the design on this project started, at least napkin sketches were started 2 years before I got there, at least.
Wow, 2013, okay.
Yeah, so, with a project like this, the clients get together a lot of times with us even before, maybe before they've even bought their land, and they're saying, okay, can we, here's what we envision here. Can this, what are our possibilities here? Can we get these items that we want? We want retail. We want office space. We want condos. They come to us with their desire. They've bought their property maybe sometimes. And anyway, a design on a project like this can take anywhere from 2 years maybe to twice as long. So,
well, I know these guys, and there's partners down there, and you must have patience to design these and the changes that have to come back and forth, and just the part of a teacher to walk through that whole process. Isn't that pretty labor intensive?
It takes a team. It takes a team of thoughtful and creative owners and developers, and people who, our firm, Ferris Eid is the president of our firm. He's been working in and around downtown Knoxville, the old city, and everywhere else in East Tennessee for years, and has been passionate about that area of town. So, we've had ideas for properties like this. Ideas
with the projects. I mean, it's so labor intensive, and shout out to Ferris for allowing you guys to come on here and be on here and talk about the program. But, with projects that are so big, we've built some custom homes ourselves, obviously never to this kind of scale, but the design work, talking to the builder with the architects and things like the time that's involved in a project, people underestimate how big a project is. And I was talking with one of my owners and I said, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you manage this whole project, not only with the HOA, the building. I mean, it takes a special talent.
Well, yeah, and it can stop and start. I mean, you go through ups and downs in either the market or maybe you start down a road and, a pandemic happens or, anything, all kinds of things can happen. So
you've got to be battle tested. I mean, and that was, enough to, if you're never nervous to have that big of a project and see different things going on, but they handled it with ease. And they, like you said, they have a great team over there that work together, and we're glad to be part of the team, help them on the project, and come in and involved and try to help sell these units. And there's a lot of things and excitement going downtown. I mean, there's possibilities of the baseball stadium. UT is booming. We got new staff, if you didn't know, that's over at UT, so they're coming in, and so there's a lot of excitement there. And I think what we're seeing here in June, people are excited. I mean, it's a great space to be. Great buildings. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you go to ryancoleman.org. We've got all the available units. I think we're almost under 20. So you better act quickly. They're going. There's several 2-bedrooms left. We're almost out of 1-bedrooms. We got one luxury 3-bedroom that's available. So go check us out at ryancoleman.org. So with the time we've got left, Tyler, let's talk about the market. If you're going to build, where's the process? How do you start that? So if I can't find my forever home and I'm going to build it and I'm going to hire an architect, you guys will be some great guys to hire. Where do we start that process? Do we get the land first or do we come to you first?
Well, we've done it both ways. It really it depends on the client a lot of times. I will say, I think the first step is if somewhere in your future you're getting ready to build a home, reach out to us as early as we'd be happy to work in an advisory way as you're maybe looking for your land, or maybe you've got a property in mind or a couple properties in mind, and you want maybe some advice on, you've thought of a style home or a size of home you like, and you're saying, okay, here's a couple of options for us. What do you think? Can you help us? What's
our thought? I mean, like, we get on the internet at night. I'm probably one of the worst guys. Get there late night on the internet, and we start looking around, and we see these floor plans, and we go, okay, I want this. And then my wife's like, oh, hey, honey, I want this, and we'll change this. And how about this design? And it's like, okay. Have you ever got that design where they pull in the internet pictures and they're placing it and say, I want it to look like this?
Sure. Yeah, sure. And
can you work with things like that?
Absolutely.
Really?
No
okay.
doubt. And what you can do is take space planning thoughts and ideas, whether it's space planning on the inside or on the outside, or maybe it's a look that you like from the outside. Either way, but you can take those space planning ideas, some that you like from plan A or plan B, and you can start to put them together. Or you can say, okay, here's some relationships that I really like. So let's start from there. Let's start with relationships of rooms in the home, and let's see where that takes us from a starting point, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I know one of the biggest things we were talking about before the show is, do we get the house plan? Do we figure it out, or do we find the lot? Now, the biggest challenge, I guess, building a couple of them, I'm just a rookie on the building process, but on the real estate side, we've helped a lot of people. And I think the first thing you want to start is, number one, you want a great agent and a great team. We talk about teamwork. You need a great agent to help you through that process, because it's a lengthy process. And it's not just finding the lot. Anybody can find the lot. It's making sure that lot's going to work for you, making sure your floor plan, foundation plan. You and I were talking about that the foundation plan will work for that lot. So ideally, either identifying a lot or having a lot with a kind of a contingency plan, like an inspection period. We have a feasibility study that you could find that lot and give you a couple of weeks to bring it to you to see if that lot's going to work before you go ahead and pay it.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same thought in a residential project as it is with commercial, like Regas. Exactly.
Okay.
One of the things about the Regas building, and this is kind of common in Knoxville, is to have some unsuitable soils around here. It's just part of it in East Tennessee. You don't know what you're going to find. And what they found there was that an old basement, some old basement remnants were underneath where they were getting ready to build Regas. And we came back to the owner when we discovered this and said, hey, have we thought about, at the time it was not a parking structure with residential above. They were thinking surface lot at the time. And they said, well, hey, let's think about increasing the scale a little bit because we can go underground because we're going to have to. Anyway, the same can be said about residential projects too. You can discover, hey, we really wanted a slab on grade, but this site just really isn't conducive to that, or vice versa, or combinations of the two.
It could cost you a lot of money if we don't plan it right and get with your professionals ahead of time. I've found people that would have bought lots with the foundation, soil's not suitable, maybe it can't perk, combination of things. Well, we're selling a lot of cabins out there in Sevierville and Gatlinburg, and guess what? You need to get with a well guy because sometimes the well will not go deep enough, or that capacity doesn't hold enough for that hot tub and things like that. And it's going to be a vacation rental, which is almost a must. Seems like we're running out of so much time. Hey, we want to make sure we understand that if you need a great architect in town, Tyler Goza, DIA, reach them up, 637-8540. Their website is dia-arch.com. Tyler will be glad to help you. You know where to reach us. It's an easy number. But thank you so much for coming on. We enjoyed talking. We could carry this on. And if you guys are thinking about business out there that you like to spotlight, we'd love to promote you. Teamwork to make the dream work. We'd love to help you promote your business. Reach out to us at 693-SOLD. Again, if you need us, it's 693-SOLD, or visit us at ryancoleman.org. Go Vols. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll be back to see you next Saturday here with Real Estate with Ryan. You guys enjoy your weekend.